If it hurts, you ain't afraid, no hits, you know it up, put on more steam. Protect our kickers, our quarterback, our lead, our ball game. All obstacles, block, cut, slides, through the game, tap, this win it is. Press you again, we're here for the first May. Carry like you never 6 minutes.
Rocky Top, you'll always be.
Unbelievable place. Great university. Knoxville's unbelievable city. Great people. The passion for football is even greater than I thought it would be. And man, Neyland Stadium, I said it, a couple of years ago, and I still think it's the best football experience for a college football fan or a player in the country.
I mean, Peyton Manning said it best year one when we got there. He looked at Coach Heupel and he goes, man, if the Colts lose, I'm all right. If the Broncos lose, I'm good. He goes, but if the Vols lose on Saturday, it hurts my soul. And there's a lot of other people. There's 103,000 people every Saturday who will say the same thing, and there's probably 1 million more watching at home. So it's important here, and those guys feel that.
Like I said, we play with a chip on our shoulder at Tennessee. So, we get a lot of disrespect. So we want to make it clear that we're going to come out and dominate day in and day out.
Doesn't have to be perfect, ain't going to be perfect. We go compete for 60 freaking minutes. All right, enjoy the opportunity, enjoy the environment, and then go play our butts off, play for one another, and have a hell of a lot of fun. Everybody got me? Yes, all right.
With Texas coming into the league now, which school has the real claim to being able to call itself UT?
There's only one real UT. One right shade of orange.
I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that, no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, joined by the man with the best hat game in all of YouTube. Dauber, what's going on, buddy?
What's happening?
How you feeling on this Wednesday night? Do you feel like there's something left to play for, or are you ready to pack it in, shut it down? Let's just turn the cameras off and let's go do something else.
No, there's absolutely still something to play for. One thing is pride and I mean, just putting it out there. What if you're not going to play? If you're going to pack it in, doom and gloom, then let's go find something else to do. And maybe get up in the deer stand, or go do something else. But there's still a lot to fight for, a lot to play for, a lot to be excited about the Big Orange in the future. It is going to be a tough week. Don't get me wrong there. But what do you think, X?
Yeah, man. after last week's game, dude, it's just hard to get up for this Georgia game. It's very, very hard. If there's ever a short, maybe like a pixie dust of a miracle at the end of the tunnel, yes, you do have a lot to play for. Even if you do, and this is just a major, major if you do go out and beat Georgia, you're still looking at a 9-3 season, possibly 10 with a bowl win. So, yeah, just right now how I feel, man, it's really hard to get up for this Georgia game. We're definitely going to see what Neyland is going to look like this coming Saturday. But yeah, I mean, I just think that there's maybe a small little pixie dust glim of hope that we might be able to beat Georgia, but I don't know. We'll just have to just wait and see.
Coach Rice, I'm expecting you to give me some coach speak, right? Talk to me like I'm a player and you're my coach. You're coming off of a domination, 36-7 by Missouri. You got the number one team in the country coming to town, all the win streaks. Look, not only is Georgia on a 27-game win streak, they're looking to become the first SEC team in history to go 8-0 in conference play 3 years in a row. Since they moved to the 8-game schedule in 92, they've won 37 straight regular season games. They're the best team. People try to make excuses and say, oh, it's not the Georgia of old. They're a dang good football team, and they're trending up. How do you talk to these guys? How do you get a team? Do you buy into the fact that it's week by week, right? Donovan, God bless his heart. I've said his name more this week than I ever have. He's a diehard Tennessee fan, member of this community. The second the clock hits 0, Donovan's saying Tennessee's going to go beat Georgia. Can you separate week to week and go get ready for the Georgia Bulldogs on Saturday?
I mean, coach speak, yeah, you can, but you know, as a fan that hits reality, it's tough. But if me as a coach and I'm trying to sell you as a player, I'm like, listen, and it's like Cooper May said, if you can't get up for this game with all the stuff that's on the table, we may not have a shot at the SEC championship. We may not have a shot, you know, at a couple other things. But if you can't feel the energy that, especially when you walk into Neyland Stadium on Saturday, you're not meant to be here. You do not need to be here because you still have the power T on that helmet that you're playing for. You play for that and for yourself and for your brothers, and you got more to play for than just to win a game. You're playing for your team, and it's just you got to lock in through practice. You got to lock in through your film work. You got to lock in through everything that prepares you for that week leading up to Saturday, as if you're freaking, you know, 10-0 to this point and getting ready for a national championship. Why change what you do if you're changing what you do from game to game, and just because you've just took a butt whooping last week? What type of man are you? I mean, you need to go and play every game as if that's your last game and play your heart out. Play it with the power T on your helmet and show the pride of that power T, and that's what you're playing for. You don't have any other excuse not to play not to show up when that power T is on your helmet. You better bring it, and it's 110% every play. It's not taking a play off. You're playing every play, and you go lay it on the field, and that's all. That's all us as fans. That's all us as big time volunteer fans, and that as a coach, that's what I want to see out of my players, is if you can forget about last week, but also remember last week, say, listen, that does not define me. I could go out this Saturday and show the world that Tennessee still has, a say in things, and we can, shock the world. And when everybody else is against us, we could go prove everybody else wrong.
And I knew I'd let you go last for a reason, because you lit a fire under me. I've been trying to turn the corner all week, and now I'm starting to get a little fired up. You reminded me of a podcast I listened to just last week. Cameron Haynes, I don't know if anybody, man, y'all making it come full circle. Dauber's talking about getting up in a tree stand. Look, I'm 42 years old. I've never been hunting a day in my life, but Cameron Haynes makes me think that I can just get a bow and I can go out in the woods and I can shoot grizzly bears with it and be a hero just like he is. But his podcast, he had Donald Cerrone on, MMA fighter, and Donald Cerrone was talking about coming down to the end of his career, and you're kind of going through the motions, and it's like, man, I used to fight for $3,000. If you had told me that I could make make 80,000, 100,000. In his last fights, he was making 800,000. He's like, I would have fought my grandma for 100 grand. And it's like, how do you get fired up when you've been doing this your whole life? And he said that his wife played college soccer and that she talked to him, sat him down and said, look, if I could go back to my senior year, and I knew it was going to be the last time that I ever got to lace up a pair of cleats, I would have laced them up just a little bit tighter. I would have worked a little bit harder, and I would have put forth just a little bit more effort. And I think if you can communicate that to some of these upperclassmen in this locker room, man, this may be your last ride. This may be your last time ever playing the game of football. It's definitely going to be your last time ever playing football in Neyland Stadium. So, man, let's get fired up. Let's take it to Georgia. Let's see who's hanging out in the chat. Let's see how you guys are feeling. Did Coach Rice kind of bring you back? Did he fire you up a little bit? I know this community is full of negativity right now, and I get it. I've been going through it as well. Larry Workman is here, says, got to keep that home winning streak going. Bob says we got a chance at taking Georgia out of the college football playoff. Tim Bradley's here, longtime Talkin VAWLS fan, says, I know I'm negavolling right now, but I just don't see it happening this week. Dylan Plowman's ready to go hunting. Craig J is here. Super Saiyan is here. What's up, my friend? Noah James is here. Dauber's back room is amazing. Yeah, I've been waiting on a, you see that Talkin VAWLS sign behind him? Yeah, I don't have one of those. I don't have one. Been waiting on one. Still hasn't shown up yet. Adam Huckabee is here. It's on my 30th birthday, so I'll probably be sad. Let's do some super chats, man. Y'all being generous right out of the gate. Noah James for $2 says 8. Can we make it through an entire episode of Talkin VAWLS without talking about number 8? I doubt it. I highly doubt it. Highly doubt it.
I don't know. Coach J ain't here.
Yeah, that's true. We might actually
I
make
still
it.
doubt it. I still doubt it.
We'll see if we can make it through. Seth Nader for 5 says, boom, boom, room. Still at work. Help me think we have a chance. I don't know if we're going to be able to do that. We'll try. Nate Pruitt for 5. Cover charge Boogie. God bless and go Big Orange. It's Nico time in Tennessee. Knew we couldn't get there. I knew we wouldn't make it. Wade Rouse been a member for 23 months. Also has the Talkin VAWLS logo tattooed on his person. I want to see some damn fight in this team. Go win, GBO. Wade also drops a $10 super chat. Says people can say whatever they want, saying this team has nothing to play for. Yes, they do. Fight for your pride. Fight for your brothers alongside. And fight for your state. You backed into a corner fight. Ron the Don for 10 says, let's go, Dorfy and Boom Boom Room Fee. Let's go, GBO. We can do this. We knew this. 144C is the only shade of orange. Nico cometh. Well, we're through the opening super chats, and we've mentioned Nico at least twice, maybe 3 times. 3 times. It was 3 times. Yeah. Let's see if we can make it through an hour and a half without talking about Nico. I highly doubt it. Something that's kind of been on my mind this week is gauging the pulse of the fan base, right? Gauging where you guys are at. How confident are you? Is the season over? Is it doom and gloom? Or are you still kind of optimistic about this football team? And then what that leads me to is what one of those super chats said, is talking about the winning streak in Neyland, right? 14-game home winning streak, 3rd longest active home winning streak in the country behind Georgia and Michigan. What's Neyland going to look like on Saturday? Is Neyland going to be full of doom and gloom, or is the people that buy tickets, the people that buy tickets and walk into that stadium, are they completely a completely separate group than what you see on Facebook, Twitter, or on YouTube even?
I mean, it's going to be packed. It's going to be loud. It is the number 1 team in the country. And it is an opportunity to shock the world. So, it's going to be one of those things. The longer we hang around, the louder and more sustained the crowd's going to be. Early on, afternoon kick, 3 o'clock, 3:30.
3:30.
So it's you don't have quite as long to get lubricated up in the tailgates, but as you would for a 7 o'clock kick. But I think people are going to be loud. People are going to be excited, despite the fact, last Saturday was not the way we wanted it to turn out. I think we sold out UConn, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I know tickets plummeted after last Saturday from what they were going for. It's gonna at kickoff, it's gonna be up there, and how the game trends and how it goes will dictate the way that the crowd is engaged and how loud they show and the impact on the game. So you want to maintain that home field advantage. You want to, this team has played well in Knoxville. This team has played well in the big games in Knoxville.
Well, here, just a quick question I want to throw at you, Dauber, and then I guess we'll go kind of talk a little bit into it. Are we going to get that home cooking from the refs just because you got big bad Georgia coming to town? Are we going to get that home field advantage?
No, absolutely not.
No, the SEC will make sure of that. But like going off what you said, Diver, I think a lot of it goes into the way we start the game. I mean, it will be loud to start, but if we're in the game, we're in the game till the fourth quarter. That stadium will just keep getting louder and louder and louder. Now come second quarter and we're already down 17-0. That's a completely different story.
Yeah.
But if we're in the game, say it's 10-7, say we're up 10-7, who knows? Georgia has started off slow this year in majority of their games. So what do we look like at the end of the first quarter? If we're, in the game at the end of the first quarter, that I'm telling you, that stadium will keep getting louder and louder and louder. And by that fourth quarter, we may have some busted eardrums if, Tennessee's right in the thick of things.
Well, the thing is,
Georgia really hasn't been tested on the road either, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they opened the season with 4 straight home games. Then they went on the road and played Auburn, and they struggled in that game. They won 27-20. I think Auburn threw for less than 100 yards. But Georgia limped their way to victory. Other than that, Vanderbilt's the only team they've played on the road. They have not been tested on the road. So I think what Coach Rice is saying is a key. You got to start fast. Don't come out and do something stupid and take the fans out of it, because I think, again, Judge, basing on what I see on social media, the fans are. It's not going to take much to take them out of the game. And not to bury the lead and talk about my prediction, but I think one of the things that they've got to do is, if you have an opportunity to take a shot, take a shot. Don't play scared. Don't live in fear. Break it out. We talked about Jackson Ross. When's he going to run and fake a punt? When are you going to do something like that? Break out some trick plays. The lack of creativity this year it's gone. Is it because of Alex Golish? What is it? What is going on there? But I think you've got to start fast, and when you have an opportunity to step on their throat, step on their freaking throat.
Listen, if this team comes out and plays Georgia like Austin Peay came in and played Tennessee, that's going to be a ball game.
Yeah.
If they come out with all the intensity, all the swagger and confidence and nothing to lose attitude, because really
you legitimately don't. Yeah, like I said, look,
you're playing for pride. You're playing for the power T. You're playing for your teammates, and all that. But there's a lot of people that are counting you out right now. So use that as motivation. Get up and do something special. Stranger things have happened.
Yeah, and I mean, it's college football. I mean, no one would have ever thought Appalachian State would have beat Michigan, but this is different. But still, it's college football. Crazy things happen, and you still have to go play the game. I don't care if you're the best, most perfect team ever. You still have to go play that game. And teams have bad days. It just, we showed it last week. So, the thing is, and Austin Price kind of said it in the roundtable, Tennessee can't just show up and play, a normal game plan. They have to come out, be creative, do things against your what you've done all year. You have to, do a couple different blitzes on defense, do a different couple things on defense that you've done that you haven't showed much this year. Do some different things on offense, a trick play here and there. I'm not saying depend and live on trick plays, because that's not you. You need to trust yourself and trust your identity and get back to what you're successful at. But you still have to do things opposite of what you've done so far this year, because it doesn't work against teams like the Georgias. So you're gonna have to change a few things up, but still stick to your identity, and I think that gives us the best shot to win.
You can't be predictable.
Yeah,
No,
exactly.
it's going to take a major. Both sides of the ball have to play a part in this ball game. That's the
Oh
same,
yeah.
and everybody's going to say like, "Well, Joe Milton's the leader of the team." Like, yes, I get it. Joe's going to have to play a little part in that as well, but it's also going to have to be the defense. Like I said, James Pierce coming off the edge, he's had a really, really amazing season so far. He's going to be a key factor. Elijah Herring, the other linebackers, they're going to have to play special. Even back in the backfield, our safeties, they're going to have to play major. So this whole team on both sides of the ball, you have to play a major, major effect into this game because if you don't, now the one thing that concerns me though, and we've seen it all season, is scoring in the red zone. We have struggled to score in the red zone. And we've got to find some way to be creative to get to score into the red zone. Because I'm sorry, if you're just going to just kick field goals against Georgia, that's automatic loss. I'm just going to go ahead and say
Well, and
automatic
yeah,
loss.
and you're right, and I think this is going to be a big week. I think this, if we're going to be successful, McAllen Castles and Jacob Warren have to have big weeks. I think that's one thing Georgia has struggled with this year. If you look back at the opposing teams' tight ends, they've had some success. It's not great, not 100 yards, 3 touchdowns, but opposing teams have had success with their tight ends. So with McAllen Castles and Jacob Warren, that's going to have to be, a safety net for Joe Milton, and someone that we could go to, especially in the red zone. And then on defense, big week, the biggest week of the whole season, I believe, with our linebackers and in our star position and our safeties. I mean, I know that's a vet, but the corners, I'm not, with the way they run the ball and use their running backs out of the backfield in the receiving game and the tight end. Yeah, of course, they got Brock Bowers back, and I wouldn't recall, but I was the one that said Brock Bowers may be back by this game, and I was hoping I was wrong, but he was back last week, so that he's their major weapon. So we're gonna have to defend him, whether it be bracketing him with a linebacker and a safety or whatever. They're going to have to show some different looks on defense for us to be able to stop this Georgia offense.
I'm shocked that Bowers is back because Tillman had the same procedure and he was out forever. Like it was, of course, he was also looking at the NFL, which Bowers, what is Bowers a senior?
Bowers is junior.
Junior. So,
but this is last year.
Yeah, he's going too. So it's, but a man again. I don't like anybody at Georgia. I hate all of them. I hate their players, hate their coaches. But you got to give kudos to Brock Bowers for saying, "Hey, in the day and age where kids opt out, or if they're hurt, I'm just going to sit and kind of be in cruise control so I can get ready for the draft." He's like, "No, I want to come back and I want to finish out this season with my brothers." Let me hit a couple more super chats here. Hank Johnston for 2. Appreciate that. Hank, why'd you change your name? You went full name. It used to be the real Hank. Now is this a fake Hank? He says, T-minus 1 hour before we try them ribs of yours. Boogie, hope they come out good, man. I bet if you're an hour out, I bet your entire house smells like heaven. Smells like heaven. Man, it's easy. It's easy, Hank. You're going to enjoy them. I hope they turn out good for you. Jenny Van for $10. That ain't cheap. Appreciate the $10 super chat. Says UGA fans are saying that our fans are selling their tickets and UGA fans are buying them. They're trying to make our stadium red and black. I believe we will win. Go Vols. I've seen several people comment. Had a Georgia fan comment either today or yesterday, I can't remember, and said that they bought 8 tickets from a Tennessee fan. So that tells you kind of the pulse, where this fan base is at. Ron the Don drops $5, says, Joe Milton, this is your SEC championship against Georgia. Put it all on the line for the Orange. Let's go. I want to go, man. There's something I want to do. Maybe we can still go back to it. But how much do you put into the like? I was listening to Josh Pate, and he talks about how Georgia's trending up. Well, it was either Josh Pate or J.D. McKeel. I can't remember which one said it. Georgia's trending up, and Tennessee's trending down. And I don't think there's going to be enough there for Tennessee to hang in there and compete. Do you guys remember what we were talking about exactly 7 days ago? We were talking about how Tennessee was playing their best football of the year. Yep. But because of one outing, because of one Saturday, because of one performance, we're ready to flush it all down the toilet and say, well, this team is trending down. They're terrible. They're awful. They don't play defense. Everybody's ready to fire Tim Banks. You guys are crazy. Like, do you remember the Texas A&M game when we won on defense? How quickly we forget. What have you done for me lately? We're ready to flush it all down the toilet. Guess what? This football team pretty dang good still at running the football. They're still pretty freaking good at running the football. 8th in the country rushing offense after they laid an egg against Missouri. They're still pretty good at stopping the run too. Tennessee's still pretty good. 24th in the country after letting Schrader run for 8,000 yards. I'm pretty sure he's still racking up yards on the ground. We still got a pretty good football team. Got a good offensive line. Got a good defensive line. Can you bounce back? That's the question. Can they respond this week? Let's see. What did I have in my notes that I wanted? Oh, Heupel. Heupel coming off of a loss in his career, 12-2, following a loss in the same season. 7-1 at Tennessee, 5-1 at UCF. This is a note from UT Sports. Says the only time it occurred at Tennessee was in his first year of 2024. He dropped back-to-back games against Ole Miss and then Alabama. Said they responded with wins the following week after a loss, now 6 straight times under Heupel. 4 of those victories coming on the road, including at Kentucky on the 28th. Also following a loss to Alabama with a win over UTSA following the loss at Florida. And, you know, we look at last year, right, and you think of how would because a lot of people comparing this Missouri game, this Missouri loss to South Carolina of last year, and we can go down a whole side road if you guys want. Is this going to be a common theme with Josh Heupel, where he lays an egg once a year? Like, is that going to be a common theme? Because it's starting to become a narrative. But I think we look back at that South Carolina game, and it's, well, how did they respond coming off of that loss? Yes, they came out and dominated 56-0. That was Vanderbilt, Dauber. This is Georgia. That's apples to oranges, but Josh Heupel's still pretty good coming off of a loss.
It's a big time difference. But you know, you said something there just a second ago. You know what we said exactly last week. You know, I think I said it Wednesday. I said it the couple minutes before kick that I got on the tailgate show. Road games in conference are going to be tough. And I really don't care where you're going. You go on the road, you're going to get somebody's best shot. And you know, Missouri had a lot to play for. Missouri had a lot of people doubting them, saying, "Oh, they're not as good as as their record is. They've played nobody." They came out with a good game plan. They executed it. You know, their running back, their quarterback, they played out of their minds, put their team on their back, and did what they had to do to win. Listen, where's Georgia going? They're going on the road. So like we talked about earlier, you protect your home field, you take care of business, you play clean football, you know, don't have penalties, don't have mistakes, because face it, you're at the point where you've got to minimize those things against a good football team. And Georgia they're probably beyond a good football team. They're the best in the country. You know, you said it. Their regular season win streak. You know, all that on the line. You know, playing for back to back to back. They're going to come in ready to play, but if we get some momentum, if we get that crowd into it, they stay engaged, and we hang around. That's going to be our best shot. That's our best shot to, you know, make things happen. And then you have to capitalize if Georgia makes a mistake. You know, we got that pick, the second series against Missouri.
Yeah, first series.
And did not do anything with it. Didn't even flip the field. So if we are able to force Georgia into miscues, we have to capitalize off of that.
And take a shot. What's the worst case scenario?
Yeah.
Instead of going 3 and out and punting, you basically punt with a deep shot.
Yeah.
Take shots when the opportunity is there.
Well, Josh Heupel, he better, you know the reason why he didn't take that shot, because he don't trust Joe Milton. Well, he better just let loose this week. If we lose, I mean, you ain't got nothing to lose.
Right.
If you get a stop, if you get a 4th down turnover, if you make a play on defense, you better roll out all your mark. You better do everything you can to give us. Don't play conservative. You see what conservative did for you last week. I mean, Yeah, don't get me wrong. I would have made the same decisions he did. I I almost said Pastor Brooks. What's his name? What's his name?
You got church drama going on, Coach Rice?
Yeah, what's
you
his
yelling
name?
at your pastor?
What's his
Paxton
name?
Brooks?
The punter.
Paxton Brooks.
Paxton Brooks.
Paxton. Not Pastor, Paxton.
Yeah, the other punter, the punter we got now. What is his name?
Oh God! Now you've got me screwed up. Jackson Ross.
Jackson Ross.
God, you got me thinking Paxton
You see
Brooks
what
is still
Missouri
fine.
does to me. You see what Missouri did to me. But yeah, so Jackson Ross, yes, he's a weapon. He's done great, other than the first game of the year. He's been automatic. I mean, those 2 punts. You thought if with what he did, with the way our defense has played all year, besides 2 quarters. You would have thought that gave us the best chance to win. Well, when you're playing the number 1 team in the nation who does not make very many mistakes, you better be as aggressive as possible. Now, I'm not saying go for it on your own 25 and pull a Florida or pull Alabama. Don't do that. But I'm saying coach aggressively. Go out there, play to win the game. Don't play not to lose the game. And, show that you have faith in Joe Milton in this offense and let him, play the full offense. Don't hold back.
Yes.
You better let him. I know our wide receiver depth is short and it's not very deep right now, but you better throw some deep balls this week because that's the only way that it may open up some run lanes and run gaps for this offense because, we just haven't been able to run the ball the last few years on Georgia. And it's not because we ain't have weapons outside. It's because they're physical with us at the line. They don't let us hit the deep shots. And, they trust their front seven.
All right. I said I wasn't going to talk about 8. We're going to talk about 8 right now. I'm Josh Heupel because I like what you – I'm full in. You got to take shots. You got to play aggressive.
Yep.
Throw it all out there because what's the worst that can happen? You lose to Georgia?
Yep.
Okay.
So
Okay. Yeah. And then what? So here's the deal. I'm trotting Joe Milton out there on Saturday, and I'm throwing it all out there. I'm saying I'm going to pull Joe to the side. I'm going to say, here's what we're going to do. We're giving you full confidence. We're going to take deep shots. We're going to go for their throat. We're going to throw it down the field all game long. Are you ready? And Joe's going to say, let's roll. He'll probably do a dance and maybe blow a kiss and maybe do that thing where he goes. He'll do that. Yeah, and then maybe he'll smile real big, and then I'm going to tell him, here's the deal. If you don't get it done, next week we're handing the keys to Nico and we're preparing for 2024. So we're with you, Joe. We're behind you, Joe. We want you to show us that you're the dog, that you own this team, you're the commander of this football team. Let's go out. We're going to take shots. But if you don't get it done, we're trotting 8 out against Vanderbilt next week. Do you understand that that's what we're doing? You go out and beat Georgia, we're going to send you out on a high note. We're going to go beat the brakes off of Vanderbilt. We're going to get you ready for a bowl game. Then we're going to get you ready for the draft. But if you don't get it done against Georgia, it's time for Nico.
Well, or you go to Joe and say, hey, you've got 3 games in your college career left. How you want to play for those last 3 games? You decide. Yeah. Because if you play like a turd, as Coach Jay would say,
your draft stock's going to go down.
You may not see the field against Vanderbilt or in the bowl game.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let me hit some super chats real quick. Dylan for 5 says the secret is out. Use motion across the formation on our and our defense is fried. Bowers will kill us on it. That's a good point. Hank for 5. I can't get used to this, Hank. I want to call you the real Hank. I don't know that I'm ever going to get used to this. Says I'm actually changing my name to Louisiana Vault. See, I'll forget that too. I'll forget that you're Hank. I'll forget. He says, just like Arkansas Vault, but I changed it, and then I thought I changed the wrong thing. Now I have to wait 14 days. Oh, man. The world of YouTube. Hank with another 2 says, also, but yeah, I tweeted at you with a question. Did you see it? No. I will check my Twitter. I'll tell you this, and then guess what? 30 minutes to an hour from now, I'll completely forget, and I won't. So text me again, and I will go check it out. Nate Pruitt for 5. Appreciate it, Nate. Okay, so conversation starter. If things are going south on Saturday, how long should Coach take to make the necessary changes? Does anybody on this panel think that Coach Heupel's going to make changes if things don't go their way? I don't.
No.
But
because if we didn't see it in the Missouri game, we're definitely not going to see it in the Georgia game.
I mean, as an offensive coach, I would say 3 interceptions. or 2 interceptions on a strip fumble. Something that where you're turning the ball over just drastically and making blatant reads to where it's just inexcusable. I can see maybe that. Now, if he's, just doing kind of what he did last week in the first half, getting us down the field, but us not scoring in the red zone or us not, converting in certain things, but he's making a throw here and there and not really losing us the game, no, then you won't see a change.
MD VAWLS for $20. That ain't cheap, but guess what? We retired. We retired the Pat McAfee clip. The only clip available now is the $1 Million Man at a 50 spot. Although somebody said that I need to play the There Are No Good Georgia Fans, There Are None for this week for $100 super chat. So if you want that clip, $100 super chat, $1 Million Man for $50 super chats. We did retire Pat McAfee, but thank you, MD VAWLS, for the 20 spot. Very generous. As I agree, we almost need to play how Austin P played against us. You got nothing to lose. You got nothing to lose at this point. Why not go out and throw it all at the wall? Throw it all at the wall. See what sticks. Trick plays, fake punts. Do it all, man. I'm not all in on this whole thing of going for it on fourth down like it's a Tuesday night NCAA stream, but I'm all for some trick plays and all that. Let's go back in time. Let's rewind a little bit. Go back to the Missouri game, and then I want to come back and we'll get back into Georgia and make our final predictions. Did anybody see this? The handshake. Have you guys seen this clip?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I saw that today.
So the handshake after the Missouri game, they asked Josh Heupel in the post-game press conference, they said, what in the world did he say to you? What did Eli Dorkwitz say to you? Because you could tell Heupel was pissed, and Eli Drinkwitz ran for cover immediately. Like he immediately ran for cover. Jackie Pickle for $10. That's not cheap. I appreciate that. Super Chat says, good observation, guys. Sure enjoy listening to this group. Well, thank you, Jackie. I appreciate the kind words and also the super chat. Glad you enjoy what we're doing around here. Guys, if you dig it, if you enjoy it, we got 300 people watching live. You can smash a thumbs up. We would appreciate that support. Also, if you want to do a little bit more, if you really like the live streams, the videos, the community aspect, whatever it is, you really want to support this channel, hit that join button down below. You can give $1. You can give more. What I'm trying to do, we got almost 25,000 subscribers. How many of you guys can we convince that you like the content so much that you're willing to donate $1 a month? That's it. $1. Hit the join button down below. You get custom Talkin VAWLS emojis, a power T beside your name, all kinds of fun perks and benefits. Look, you can come on a fan call-in show like the X Factor or like Coach Rice. The next thing you know, I'll put you to work on Wednesday nights because that's what happens here on the Talkin VAWLS Network. I love this community, man. We are adding so many voices, so many opinions, and I'm here for it. Shot by Andrew for 2 says, fun show last night. Yeah, man, always a good time. I love Tuesday nights. It's so much fun. DJ Boogie comes out. We play music. We tell jokes. We have fun. All right, so after the game, Eli Drinkwitz walks up to Josh Heupel, shakes his hand, had something to say. Nobody knew what he said. Let's go back. Here it is. You got the full audio now. It's only 5 seconds. So take a listen as Eli Drinkwitz approaches Josh Heupel.
Yep. We stand on business, Josh. Missouri.
Yeah.
We stand on business, Josh. Watch him. Watch what he does, though, after. Like, you want to talk some smack? Like, look at what J.D. Piquel says. No issue with the content of the message after dominating. Do have an issue with the quick walk away while delivering the message. Just watch it again.
Yep. We stand on business, Josh. Missouri wins number 8.
We stand on business, Josh, and then he walks away real quick. You know what that reminds me of? It almost reminds me of, say you had beef, right? You had beef with another YouTuber, and somehow these two YouTubers end up on the same stream together. And the YouTuber that you have beef with says, man, are we cool? Like, you got a problem with me? We can talk about it. We can get into it. And that person says, no, man, I'm fine. Like, hypothetically. Just hypothetically pretend that this happened, right? And that person says, no, I'm good with you. And then that stream ends, and the person that says they're good with you immediately runs off to their channel and makes a video talking trash. That person's a coward. That person is the definition of soft. They don't understand. People want to call people soft. That's the definition of soft. If you got something to say it to my face. But if you tuck your tail between your legs, you cower and you run away and say, "Oh yeah, everything's fine." Hypothetically, I'm just pretending. I'm making up a story here. Like hypothetically, this happened.
Yeah. Oh,
you run away with your tail between your legs, then you respond. That's what Eli Drinkwitz did. He took his shot and then he ran. I just made all that up just now, hypothetically.
Oh yeah.
Well, no, and like I said, well, that's the first time I've seen the video of him making that comment. But I've been reading that said that he did say that to Josh Heupel. But it's okay. I mean, that's what I said. Look, when has Missouri been irrelevant since when? Exactly. So he can say that. I mean, like I said, he can have this year for now. I mean, that's cool. Just, buddy, we got a 5-star, like saying, all American talent waiting to see you in Neyland Stadium next year. So basically, if I was Josh Heupel, I'd be like, it's okay, Eli, keep that same energy, buddy. Because listen, you
That's,
got to come play us next year.
Well, that or if it's a flip their defensive lineman.
we actually don't play him next year.
Well, next time we play them,
2025.
Way to ruin a good moment, Dauber.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
Don't let facts get in the way of a good story.
I'll say this. I don't know that Drink will be there in 2025 when we play him again.
Probably not. Yeah. Because that's what I said. When's Missouri? This is the only time that Missouri has been relevant of this year. So, yeah, you might be right, Dauber. He probably won't be there. Like I said, we'll see if he keeps this hot streak going with Missouri. And then by 2025, if he doesn't got it together, he's gone.
But if he does, I think Coach Heupel is one of us. I think he's like, Vol Nation. He's like Talkin VAWL Nation. He's like Vol Twitter. I think he keeps receipts.
And he's an alpha male.
Yeah.
Eli Drinkwitz is a beta.
Mm-hmm.
Hype's an alpha. Like that, Hype would never do that. Look, Hype will run it up on you on the field of play, and then he'll just come shake your hand and walk off, and I just dominated you. He doesn't have to tell you. You already know, right? You already know. But Eli Drinkwitz needs to make sure. Did you see that? We beat you. We beat you.
Yep.
Weak, soft is what that is.
Yeah, it's okay. And that's why, and then everybody's comparing this game like to the South Carolina game. I mean, yeah, it kind of did feel like that this year. Like that was kind of like Missouri. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm not going to take anything away from Missouri. They were a good football team this year. I will give them that. But that's why I was saying, like, keep that same energy because you don't know what your schedule is going to look like next year. So you enjoy this. You're supposed to enjoy this moment now, just like you've been preaching about, Boog. Enjoy this moment now. Because next season, everybody's schedule gets tougher. So just keep that same energy.
I mean, everybody needs to check Missouri's receipts, make sure they ain't got nothing in from Michigan. But I mean, y'all, that game Saturday, and I'm glad I was sick and couldn't get on the fan call-in show because Lord, I would have had to go back to church. But that game is it was just so bad, y'all, that it was worse than the South Carolina game for me. Because at least we were going and putting up yards and scoring points. I mean, other than the Hendon Hooker injury. Y'all, that game Saturday, I was just sitting on my couch, thinking about life. Like, it got me, really... Like, what is going
That's
on?
broken. That's broken.
Yes, I was broken Saturday. Y'all, it was that bad. Like, every time freaking Brady Cook would sneak out of the pocket and on a 3rd and long and get a first down.
We had him pinned in the end zone on that one play. Dude, you were pinned in the end zone and you escaped.
And then you let that Division II schmuck run all over you. Like, I mean, he throws a cheap shot, and then Gary Danielson's acting like he's like the Heisman front runner. The way they were talking about him, I mean, y'all, I'm telling you, I was so hot Saturday. I was just so glad I was. I mean, I hated that I was sick, but I would have made that show bad Sunday. I'll just let you know, Boogie.
So what? When we look in the grand scheme of things, right? We look in the grand scheme of things for 2023. If Tennessee goes out and shocks the world and beats Georgia on Saturday, which I do not expect, like I told these guys off air, I'm going to defend myself on air. Eric Kane sabotaged me today in Locked On Vols. You guys will get it on Friday. I was setting myself up for a redemption story when he asked my prediction. The jerk never asked for my prediction, so I left the show looking like a dude that said Tennessee had a 0% chance to win that game. That's not the story, Kaner. You screwed me. You know you screwed me. We'll fix that on Monday night. He was mad at me. He was mad at me. He was taking shots all show. Anybody that tuned into the Monday morning show, such a good time with Kaner. My internet completely died. I've had all kinds of internet service provider issues, so I kept getting kicked off. Kaner just hosted the show. I was like, I got to reboot. I'll be back. He's like, all right, I'm the host of Talkin VAWLS. He clowned it up. He had a good time. He was being funny with it. So they were clowning on me for 10 minutes while I was trying to get things fixed. So when I came back, I landed the knockout blow. I said, hey, Kaner, before we get off the air, how'd it feel to host a show that has 24,000 subscribers for a change? So I think he was waiting on his opportunity, and he took it on Locked On Balls. I said all that to say this. How much does that Missouri loss? Let's say Tennessee Dauber, they go out and they beat Georgia on Saturday. How much of a damper does that Missouri game still put on this season? Or do you just say, hey, 9-3, that's where we wanted to be. We got there. It wasn't the way we thought it was going to look, but we got there.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of those you kind of don't follow the map, don't follow the route that's planned out. But I think 9-3 was kind of where we picked, and if that's how you get there, hell, most of us didn't have us losing in Gainesville, so that's one of those things we've already deviated from kind of where we thought we'd be. So it's this team can play with Georgia. We've seen all these. If they put all the little bits and pieces together and play a complete football, you got to play for 60 minutes. You can't take a quarter off like you did in Gainesville. You can't take a quarter or a half off like you did against Alabama. You can't take 60 minutes off like you did in Missouri. So this team has to show up. This team has to play. This team has to play. I don't want to say perfect football, because I think they're better than having to play a perfect game against a really good opponent. But they have to play solid, clean football. You can't give Georgia, a short field. You can't have mistakes that kill a drive. You have to extend drives. You have to X, you said it earlier. You can't settle for 3 points. You've got to cash in, and you got to get 7 points if you have the opportunity. It's a huge game, especially coming off of what happened last Saturday. A lot of recruits, a lot of big time recruits going to be in the house. So you want everything firing on all cylinders. And at the end of the evening, if we come up short, we come up short. But let's go down fighting. Let's not roll over. Let's bounce back from last Saturday, and we'll work like heck, as old Philip Fulmer would say, and we'll give Georgia a good fight. And at the end of the day, that's all we hope we can do. And I'm telling you, if we're hanging around, if we're in this game late, I like our chances. But if we pissed it away, if we've made mistakes, if we've given a really good football team, extra chances or opportunities to just grind us into the ground, that's what they're going to do.
X, how do you feel about this season being? You're looking at 8-4. You're staring 8-4 right in the face. You got embarrassed by Missouri. Again, how quickly things change. A week ago, we're talking about if Tennessee plays the second quarter against Florida, they play the third quarter against Alabama. That's an undefeated football team going into that Missouri game. And we're talking about Ole Miss doing us a favor, SEC East, all this nonsense. And then 7 days later, well, Josh Heupel sucks, fire everybody. Like what if Tennessee went out and took care of business? Or what if they finish 8-4? Where are you at on this coaching staff and Josh Heupel?
Well, like I said, I'm not going to just be like some ball fans and just throw in the towel and just say, oh, it's time to get rid of Josh Heupel and Tim Banks and, Rodney Gardner and all that. No, that's not where my mindset's at. Yeah, it just sucks looking at 8-4 in the face, because it's something we just didn't want to be. I mean, we knew we was going to take a major step back, not this major after last season. But yeah, listen, if we go out and we beat Georgia, yeah, we're right there at 9-3 where we really want it, possibly 10 wins with a bowl win. And what also should fire this team up too is that, listen, if you go out and you take care of Georgia and you give them their first L, remember, they got to go take care of Alabama in the SEC championship. And that's going to be an opportunity for Bama to see blood and be like, okay, so if we can come after Georgia, we can knock them possibly out of the college football playoffs. So, but yeah, it just I'm not ready to fire Josh Heupel, none of that stuff. It's just, look, it is what it is. But for this game, just go down swinging, man. Don't just come out, play flat like you did with Austin P and against, Florida and stuff. Just go out and just fight, man. Make this like Rocky and Drago. Just make this
He's a
make this a
man.
Rocky.
He's not a machine. He's a
and Drago
man.
fight. Exactly. Like, just go out fighting, man. And then listen, at least at the end of the day, depending on whatever the score is going to be, look, just know that, and I hope that every player in that locker room knows that when they slap that T, that they gave it all for Tennessee. And I mean, that's all you can do, and then just get ready for 2024 for Nico Iamaleava.
Oh yeah,
Imagine this guy. Wait. This is sad. A bunch of grown men explaining away an average team. I don't know, Jason. What's sad to me is being a grown man, watching a grown man that makes a living talking about Tennessee on YouTube. What are you doing with your life? Sitting in the chat, watching the people that you say are pathetic and sad. So have a great night, Jason. It's good to see you in the chat, buddy. Find something better to do with your life. Find some positivity. Find something that makes you happy, because clearly talking Tennessee football doesn't. Walter Davis becomes a member of the channel. Appreciate that, Walter. Thank you for the support. People like you, Walter, people like you are what give me the opportunity to do this full time. People like you are what make people like Jason cringe to know that I get to do this full time, even though he can't stand what we have to say. Austin Stubblefield for 5 said, just looked at next year's schedule. We are on death row next year at Arkansas, at Georgia. And Arkansas, have you been watching Arkansas play football? You're worried about Arkansas?
Yeah, they're getting ready. Yeah.
Go get that man as an offensive line coach. Although I'm pretty happy with what Glenn Ellerby's doing.
We're gonna bring in Jimbo as a analyst.
Sure, why not? And Sam Pittman as an offensive line analyst. Why not? Let's go full Nick Saban. At Georgia, at Oklahoma, back-to-back road games. Yeah, but we're going to have a baller at quarterback. Wait for that. Schmidt for $5 says, going to the game this week. Was at the Bama game last year and was at the Hail Mary game. Oh, my goodness. At the Hail Mary game in Georgia. So hopefully we will see another exciting dub. Schmidt, why don't you have season tickets? Why don't you have season tickets? Do we need to get you some season tickets somehow?
Yeah.
Maybe in 2024, Schmidt will have season tickets, and it's going to feel like 98. Hank for $5 says, I think we start hot, stay hot, crowd will rattle. Carson Beck, he hasn't experienced a place like Neyland. Maybe Auburn, and they won by 7. Check Twitter, Boogie. I'll check Twitter. I will try my best to remember Twitter.
He took one of my keys to the game, man. I was literally going to say that.
Yeah, but if you let enough time go by, they completely forget that was said, and you can just pretend that it's your own. That's what I do around here. We're gonna get into our predictions here in just a second. We got almost 300 people watching live, guys. Do us a favor, smash the thumbs up. It's quick, free, easy. It helps the channel. We would greatly appreciate it. Also, go check out the merchandise. Now's the perfect time, man. Now's the perfect time to go pick up a FUGA shirt. If you don't want to be offensive, if you don't want to be trashy, you can pick up some of the other merch like the Talkin VAWLS letter shirt, the Cult member shirt. All of it is at bonfire.com. Look at that. Look at that. FUGA. Who doesn't want to wear that? Bonfire.com/store/Talkin VAWLS. I tell you guys all the time, if you pick up the merch, tweet at me. I want to see you guys repping it. Whether you're at, I don't know, if you're at a game, you're out in public, whatever it is, I want to see you guys repping the merch. Tweet me at Boogie Bentley. I'll retweet that. I want to see you guys repping Talkin VAWLS. Shout out to everybody that picks up the merch. Also, shout out to the members of the channel. You guys are who pay the bills. You guys are the ones that piss guys like Jason off. They don't understand how an idiot sitting in his basement with LED lights and a bunch of arcade games behind him, how he gets to do this full time. Why does that idiot get to talk Tennessee football for a living? I don't understand. That makes me mad. Well, if you hit the join button down below, I hear what I've been told, that if you hit the join button down below and you join this channel, that Jason cries 1 tear for every new member of the Talkin VAWLS Network. So do us a favor, hit that join button, get in where you fit in, whether you like the videos, whether you like the live streams, whether you like whatever it is you like about this channel. Some of you guys like the community aspect. Some of you guys go into the postgame show, and you guys hang. There was like 50, 60 people in the postgame show during the Missouri game, like a chat room, just hanging out, talking Tennessee football. Absolutely amazing. I love this community. I'm grateful for you guys. So if you want to get in where you fit in, hit that join button down below. Let's talk about the Georgia Bulldogs. Let's talk about our predictions. We're going to get into it. Look, we've talked about the winning streaks, whether it's, at home or whether it's just straight up 27-game winning streak. Everything that this football team's done. 34 players drafted in the last 3 seasons, 19 on the defensive side of the ball. 8 of those, 8 first-round draft picks on defense alone in the last 3 years. People like to pretend, they like to say, well, this isn't the Georgia of old. Yeah, I know, because they're all playing in the NFL. They're still a dang good football team. It drove me nuts. As much as I hate Georgia, cannot stand the Georgia Bulldogs, they should be number 1 and should not come out of that number 1 spot till somebody beats them. What is this, EA Sports? What are we doing? They've not lost a game in 27 games. They're the number 1 team in the country. Coach Rice mentioned Brock Bowers being back last week, had 3 catches for 34 yards and a touchdown against Ole Miss. Ladd McConkey playing really good football. Missed the first half of the season, still has 26 catches, 418 yards and 2 touchdowns. Everybody questioned Stetson Bennett. Oh, he's gone. They're screwed. Really? Zoom in on my face. Really? The walk-on? You're worried about the walk-on being gone? Carson Beck is on track to break Stetson Bennett's record for completion percentage. He's completing 72% of his passes. He's thrown for over 3,000 yards, 18 touchdowns. He's a really good quarterback. Oh yeah, they play a little defense too. They only give up 15 yards a game. This is a good football team coming up on Saturday. Probably got one of the best defensive backs in the country, Tyke Smith, second in the SEC with 4 interceptions, also 46 tackles. That's 2 behind the leading tackler at Georgia. Good football team. I forgot. Their linebackers hurt. Their middle linebackers hurt. Oh, yeah, they played C.J. Allen, true freshman, last week, led the team in tackles with 9. Also had a sack. They are 5-star after 5-star after 5-star. They're a good football team. Let's get into it. Let's talk about our keys to the game. You guys want to do keys to the game and then predictions, or do you want to lump it all together? Coach Rice, what do you want to do?
Keys to the game.
All right, let's talk keys. All right, well, I'll throw it to you first. What are your keys to the game? What has to happen for Tennessee to be in this football game in the fourth quarter?
Don't
take them all. Don't take them all.
Yeah, I got you. Gotta be balanced and play complementary football. Those are the main 2, and you got to start early. Those are the 3 keys that I will say. And that gives us the best shot to win. Those 3 got to be balanced, got to be play all 3 good football, complementary football, and you got to start early.
X, what's your keys to the game?
So my keys to the game on offense, Joe's got to get involved with the running game. Joe's got to get involved with the running game. The running backs, they just need to do what they do. Like I said, try to find open gaps. Try to, like I said, get as many positive yardages as you can. As far as our wide receivers go, I know we're looking really thin, like I said, now that, Dante's out, but hopefully that next man up, either Caleb Webb, Chaz Nimrod, or whoever's going to be in that lineup, I hope that they're ready to put on a show for us this Saturday. But just offensively, everybody's just got to come together. It's not just Joe Milton, because I know everybody wants to blame Joe because he's the team captain. No, everybody on offense has to play a part in this game. Defensive side, yes, like saying James Pierce, we know that man's been a stud, but it's going to take everybody's effort on the defensive side of the ball too, from safeties to linebackers, the whole 9 yards. So, and those are my key points of this game.
Dauber, what do you got?
So defensively, you got to get after Carson Beck.
Mm-hmm.
He's been good. He's not been great. He's surrounded by a whole cast of, the running backs, the tight ends, the wide receivers. You get after him, make him feel the environment. He's thrown 18 touchdowns. He's thrown 5 picks. So he's not. There's some chinks in the armor. We said it earlier that this Georgia team's not really been tested on the road. So you can stay in this game. You can get in this game, hang around until late. We don't know how they're going to respond. They're a great football team. Don't get me wrong. But we can get them rattled and hang around, and that I like the odds and the recipe for that. Offensively, do what this Tennessee team has done all year. Let's run the football effectively. Let's move it down the field. I think Georgia's going to do what Missouri did. They're going to try to jam the box and crowd the line of scrimmage and take away the running game and put it on Joe Milton. So X said it. Joe's got to come out and he's got to have his career game at Tennessee. He's got to play. He's got to play out of his mind. Look what Missouri's quarterback did last week. He came out and just dominated. So I think it can be done. And I think that's what's going to happen. You're going to have to play clean football, relatively mistake-free, and take advantage of opportunities. And that's going to give you the chance to be around at the end of the game. If Tennessee wins, it's going to be by a slim margin. It's going to be a close game.
This concerns me. Retro, a Georgia fan. You know what I think about Georgia fans, but for whatever reason, Retro continues to hang out with me. We actually got a lot of cool Georgia fans in the chat tonight. I love that some of you guys that are Georgia fans can come in here and hang out and talk ball. That's the whole point. Right? That's the whole point. You come in and you start regurgitating things that Uncle Lou says, like, lose my number. Like, you don't need to be here. But if you want to come in and talk legitimate ball, Retro says you got to attack our edges. Outside zone runs have killed us. That scares me because Tennessee doesn't run.
We don't run outside zone.
No, Tennessee ain't going to run no outside zone. So that concerns me. Let me hit a couple of super chats real quick. Hank drops a 10 spot, says, what if Hype gets offered the A&M job? They have got what's needed to win championships. They need a coach, and I'm sure they would pay him big money. It's my BVS talking, thinking he would think about that. He also follows it up with 2 and says, that's what I tweeted you. I'm tired of waiting. Oh, man, Hank, if only I didn't have anything to do. I'm kind of running a live stream right now, but I do appreciate the super chat. I don't see Coach Hype taking that job. No.
I think they already got their coach.
Who do you think it is?
I think it's going to be – it's one or two people. It's either going to be Dan Lanning or Deion Sanders. It'll be one of those two guys.
I think Deion. I don't see Dan Lanning taking that. Why would Dan Lanning take that job? Like, he's got it made at Oregon.
I know.
And it's like, too, that shows you how much money Texas A&M has. If they're going to pay Jimbo that ridiculous buyout, and then they're going to go pay Dan Lanning's buyout, like, they have unlimited funds at Texas A&M.
Did you see, and not to sidetrack us too much right here, did you see what they did at halftime of the game? They won 55 to whatever.
Who?
At halftime, they had one of the big checks from the A&M Aggie Booster Club or whatever.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Like
I did see that.
$150 million or something.
I thought it was 170 million.
Something. It was a ridiculous amount, and it said flaunting the check that is Jimbo's buyout essentially at halftime of a game. You blow the team out, and then firing him on Sunday.
They got that Nike money, bro. Oregon's got that Nike money.
Yeah.
They do.
Carl Judkins for 5 says, lighten up fans. 1 missed tackle, 1 missed block. Looks like the whole team. It's not. Punk Georgia in our house. Our Vols. Let's go, Carl. Let's bring some positive energy, brother. I appreciate that. VFL Willie for 2. How do these other fans know our team so well? I don't know. Do they? They think they do. Oh, Schmidt for $2 says, I was at the Georgia game too in the rain, so not that lucky. Don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. You should have saved your $2 and left us on a high. Left us on a high, oh, Schmidt. You shouldn't have put that into the world. Jason, my good friend Jason. I love when I can – somebody insults me, I insult me, and then they give me $20. That's called winning. He says, thank you, but please do me one thing. Talk to previous Josh Heupel captains. See what is said about Golish compared to his former boss. Look, we all love Alex Golish. I'm the biggest Alex Golish fan maybe in the world. Shout out me for being in his coaching announcement when he got hired at USF. I started to cuss. I'm not going to cuss on this Wednesday. My ignorant voice is in there saying, Alex Golish off to South Florida. Like, how is that reality? So, Jason, when you say we're a bunch of idiots, you want to praise Alex Golish. One of these idiots was in his video when he was announced as the head coach. So take that to the bank, and I'll take your $20 to the bank. I appreciate that. Negaval for 2 says this is for Jason's eHarmony account. He needs we have a cult following around here. Be nice to Jason. He dropped to $20. He laughed at my insults. I'll laugh at his insults. Me and Jason will be best friends. We'll be best friends before the end of the night. You watch. He'll probably join the channel. Before it's all said and done. Hank for 5 says it's not going to be Deion. Shador and Travis couldn't play. They used their free transfer, plus his daughter would be in the middle of b-ball season. That's an interesting point. That's an interesting
Well, them
point.
two are going pro. Well, no, Travis would have one more year, wouldn't he? Shador's
I don't know how
gone.
old Shador is. He
I
is.
think Shador's gone.
Yeah, I'm about to say,
He
isn't
may
he
have
a
one
senior?
more year. He may have one more year, but I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Let's see. Am I caught up? What are you guys talking about in the chat? Yeah, I'm caught up. I don't guess you need my keys to the game. Look, we'll go ahead and jump into predictions. I'll give you my keys to the game with my prediction because I think in the grand scheme of things, Dauber hit the nail on the head. Get back to who you are. Run the dang football. And look, Georgia's good against the run. They give up 107 yards. That's 38th in the country. But they're not the Georgia of old, right? That's what everybody says. I don't think they are the Georgia of old when it comes to defense, even though they're only giving up 15 points a game. They score 40 points a game. They're a good football team. I think X said it. I think one of you guys said it. Get after Carson Beck. Might have been Dauber. I can't remember. But Georgia has only allowed 10 sacks on the year. Nobody's really gotten after Carson Beck. Tennessee's still second in the SEC. They're averaging 3.3 sacks per game. Look, they got home 3 times last week in a blowout. You got dominated. You got embarrassed. You still got home 3 times. Prior to that, you only got home once against Connecticut. You only got home once against Kentucky. And you can say holding. You can make all the excuses in the world. Bottom line is you got to find a way to get home. Got to find a way to get home. Another big key for me, you got to win first down and sustain drives. Too many times this football team, whether it's holding or illegal procedure or whatever the case may be, even the stupid little speed option to the short side of the field to start the third quarter last week, and you put yourself in 2nd and 16. This offense does not work. You can't live on the run game because that's what this offense is built on, is the run game when you're looking at 1st and 20, 2nd and 15, 2nd and 16, whatever the case may be. You can't do that. You got to win on first down. And like we said at the top of the show, when the opportunity presents itself, take shots. Take shots down the field. Let Joe Milton go play. Let him go play. What's the worst that can happen? You lose the football game. Who cares? Let Joe take shots. You get a turnover. Jalen McCullough picks off a football in the red zone and returns it across midfield. First play better be a deep shot. I don't want to see this swing pass, run, punt crap. Throw it deep. Take shots. Try to step on their throat when you have the opportunity to get there. And then on the flip side, this defense has to get off the field on third down. They have been terrible in the losses on third down. And Brady Cook played a big part of that, made plays with his feet and extended drives. You got to get off the field on third down offensively, win on first down. That's the keys to the game for me. You know, we talked about the winning streaks, the Neyland environment, all that stuff. And look, I when you cover Tennessee football for a living, you want to come on here and be full of rah-rah and you know, sunshine and rainbows. But sometimes you got to tell it like it is, and that's what I'm committed to doing. I don't think it's enough. I don't think Neyland's enough. I don't think Joe Milton's enough. I think Georgia's too good on defense. 34-21, Georgia Bulldogs. Dauber, what do you got?
All right, man, it is weird and funny how similar we have been thinking and picking games this year. I would love to see Tennessee go out and beat Georgia Saturday. You know, that's what we all want. We all want to go 13-0 and play for a natty every year. This Georgia team is they're the Alabama of 8 years ago. You know, there's just dominating good teams. I think this team, if this team hangs around till late in the fourth quarter and has a chance, I think they can beat Georgia. But I think that's a pipe dream. I don't think this coaching staff can call a stupid game, and like you said, going for it every fourth down. But they're going to have to not let opportunities pass, and they can't leave anything in the bag. I said you're going to have to not play a perfect game, but you've got to play mistake-free football and clean football. This team has yet to prove that they can do that, especially against a quality opponent. I've got Georgia winning 38-24.
All right, X, what do you got? I'm trying to None of y'all are picking Tennessee. I was going to be like, who's the most likely to pick Tennessee that I could make go last? Nobody. X, what do you got?
I mean, it's just the reality of the situation, man. It's really just been a reality of, this season of where this football team has been. It's like what we said earlier. I mean, we expected a major step back, but not this majorly. It's a little, it's a little disappointing whatsoever. But hey, man, I mean, this team. I mean, we did have a lot of highs and a lot of expectations, and we played good games from here and there. But obviously, from the key piece or the key players we lost from last season, from Jalen Hyatt to Hendon Hooker and etc. We knew that. So everything we just talked about earlier, like the key plays and everything, yeah, that's still in a major effect. But it's like what I said earlier before the show, man. It's hard to get up for this game. I don't know what Neyland's going to look like this weekend. I want it to be sold out, and I want it to be loud and everything, but
Yeah, a lot of red and black. Spoiler
yeah,
alert.
yeah, exactly. So honestly, and it is what it is. Credits to Georgia. They might go out and do it. They might make a three-peat if Bama doesn't stop them first. I have no idea. But as far as my score prediction goes, I got Georgia 42, Tennessee 30.
All right, Coach Rice, change everything you said. Send us out with some optimistic vibes. How
Oh
about
man,
that?
you don't do that to me, Buggy.
No,
you
be
don't
real.
do that to me, man.
I never tell you guys what to say. Give us the truth.
Yeah, I know. I just play with you. Well, there's two sides of this. Either Tennessee goes out and plays their butt off and plays for that, T on their helmet and makes this a fourth quarter game, and the fans are into it, the crowd's into it. You feel like we have a shot at the end of the game. Joe Milton's going to have to play his best game of the year. The offensive line's going to have to hold up and play good. You're going to have to stop the run. I think if we stop the run game, we can, kind of control them a little bit. I mean, not completely stop them, but contain them to a little less points. But it's just Georgia's got way too much weapon. It's tough to go against when they've been so successful, just doing what they do. I mean, they don't. I hate saying this because it's Georgia we're talking about, but they're just very good at what they do, and you can't deny it. I mean, yes, I think if we go out and we play hard and play like our hair's on fire, we may be able to rattle Carson Beck a little bit because I think this is the toughest environment he's ever played in. But do we have that? Do we give our fans that opportunity to make this a ruckus environment? I mean, is it 17-0 before they end the first quarter? And that's to be seen. But if that's the case, I just don't. I think Georgia's going to do what they do. So, as a fan, I want Tennessee to win so bad, but reality sets in. I think it's going to be 28-17 into the fourth quarter, and then it's going to be 42-17 by the end of the game.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. You offended X so much that he left the show. He's like, I'm turning off my camera. I'm out.
Yeah, y'all, it hurts me to say that,
I know,
after
Coach.
what happened last week. Especially after what happened last week. And, you talked about earlier, I never really had a shot to answer. If we go out and beat Georgia, 9-3, y'all, I'm telling you, I forget the Missouri game. Y'all know what that's going to do for recruiting? You thought Alabama was big last year. You thought that game last year was big? If Tennessee goes out and upsets the number one team on the road, I guarantee you those polls are coming down. And, hey, let's go 24. If we beat Georgia, y'all, I can't wait to 2024. If we beat Georgia,
are y'all ripping the goalposts down? Y'all ripping the goalposts down? If Tennessee beats Georgia?
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
Let's go.
And
Let's go.
I will drive from Huntington, Tennessee, and I will be up there by the time those poles get to the river. And I'll be up there when they get down into the river.
That'll be my cover photo for the day after is Coach Rice swinging from the goalpost.
You dang right.
Sign me up for that. Let me hit a couple more
Sign me
super
up.
chats. Alicia Kaufman drops a $2 super chat, says, go Vols, go beat them dogs. Let's go. Rick Young becomes a member of the channel. Jason shed another tear. Appreciate that, Rick Young. Thank you for the support, man. You guys, man, you members of the channel, you drive this thing. I appreciate your support. Papa J for 5 says, for the love of Christmas. He says, for the love of Christmas, please.
It'd be a good
Please
Christmas
beat
present.
Georgia. I don't believe there are good people that pull for Georgia. I think they're all terrible, ugly, disgusting human beings. I think it's just that no, there are no good Georgia fans, Eric. There are none. I thought that was the perfect clip for Papa J. I thought that was the perfect clip to send us out the door. Look, we got more content coming your way throughout the week. I think probably Friday morning on the live stream with Coach J, we'll probably dive into recruiting, because it is a huge recruiting weekend for Tennessee. They got 5 official visitors. They got a ton of talent in the class of 25. 2 of the top offensive tackles in the country are in town. 3 of the top 10 offensive tackles are in town. The number 1 athlete's in town. George McIntyre's in town. It's a huge weekend recruiting for Tennessee. Coach Rice, I wish you could jump on with us on a Friday morning. Those are the real ones. Are you free on Friday mornings?
No, but I will make something happen.
I was gonna say.
For one, but I will make something happen for one of them. You just let me know.
Make it happen for this Friday, because we're gonna be
be.
like, I was gonna talk recruiting tonight, but I know that Dauber and Xavier don't follow it as deep as me and you and Coach Jay do, so I didn't want to kind of come on and them not be prepared for it. Make something happen Friday. Me and Coach
what
Jay.
time?
9:30 a.m.
All right, I'll see.
Don't do something stupid. Like, don't get fired or do something stupid.
I'd say quit your job like Boogie did.
You were just sick on Saturday. You can't be, or Sunday. You can't be sick again. But if something happens and you're free, by all means, the invitation is there to jump on with me and Coach Jay, because we'll talk some recruiting on Friday morning. 9:30 a.m. You guys be there. Videos coming throughout the week. Saturday we'll go live an hour before kick for the regular tailgate show, fan call-in show. That's where you guys get to come on and hang out, and then we'll be live immediately following the game as well. Jason's dropped $40 tonight. Jason hates me, but he loves giving me money. He says, thank you. Happy to offer some cash. Enjoyed it in New York City watching the show. Well, Jason, you're welcome here every single week. We go live every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Eastern time. Come hang out for the post-game show. Even though you think I'm an idiot, guess what? I'll keep you coming back, because I know how to have a good time, I know how to entertain, and I surround myself with people that know Tennessee football. And that's going to do it for this one. Speaking of those guys that know Tennessee football, he's Dauber. He's the X Factor. Down there's Coach Rice. My name is Boogie Bentley. This is the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.
That we call home, and it's night and I'm alone and I'm alive.